This is Patricia Hazell, and this is Patricia's Potpourri. And we're doing part 2 of the interview with the fabulous Anna Boutel. And Anna Boutel has told us about her background, her education, and her educational experiences. Her experience as a teacher and a school administrator. Okay, Anna, is there anything you would like to add in?
During all this time, I did get married.
You did?
I did, and
Who did you marry?
I married a gentleman named Mr. Allen Leslie Boutel, and that's where the Boutel came from. And he's a New Yorker with the West Indian background, of course, and we had been married for a long time.
Did you have any children?
5 children. I'm sorry. We had 2 daughters and 5 grandchildren, 1 great-grand. And Alan and I had the goal of visiting the 7 continents. And we made 6 of them.
You traveled 6 of the 7 continents of the world?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
And,
so what encouraged you? Because I came to a party and somebody said, "Oh, Anna, I'm almost catching up with you. I went to 6 of the continents," because he knew that you had. So tell us about the travel.
Where do you want me to start?
Oh, wherever you'd like.
So many places.
What was your favorite continent?
Africa, of course. I actually enjoyed all of them because each had its own unique quality. But there were some things in certain places that were very special. In Greece, we saw the Parthenon, and then I took my daughters with me on that trip. So we had our 2 daughters with us. That was quite a nice experience for them. And in Africa, we saw so many different things that you wouldn't see in other places. We've been to China, another wonderful experience. We've been to Vietnam, and my husband even went through some of the foxholes that the young men, the soldiers went through during the Korean War. Of course, I didn't do that because I was afraid. And just so many things that we've done, it's hard to even start.
I know y'all went to Egypt, which is one of I visited Egypt too, which is a part of Africa.
Yes.
And it was like a wonderful experience. Tell us a little bit. Well, we got to do Egypt, and then we're going to do Australia. But tell us a little bit about your experience in Egypt.
Oh, in Egypt, that's the trip that my daughters went to. It's just hard for me to remember some of it, but I do have photos to show. And it was hot. I remember that. It was very hot because I think the time of year that we went was one of the hottest times. And we just did a lot of touring. We did not ride camels, but they did have lots of camels, and you could ride in them, but we were told not to, to be careful with that.
But you know what I loved about Egypt? The reception in which I received from the people in Egypt, and the way in which I was treated. Let me tell you something. when I was floating on the Nile River, I was really floating.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
so tell a little bit about, that experience.
Oh, we had a great time on the Nile River. There was nice ladies that we met. There was nice, good entertainment, good food, and we just had a great time floating down the Nile. One of the things that I liked, I'm going back to Africa, was going on safaris.
Yes, because Egypt is a part of Africa.
Yeah.
So you went into another part of Africa, and you went on safari.
We went on a few safaris, and you had to go early in the mornings, and yeah, we went in the trucks, and it was just beautiful seeing all the different animals. And the giraffe is my favorite animal, so I love seeing the giraffes. And we saw the lions, and then we were able to walk with lions. And
Walking with lions, you weren't afraid?
we had well, they have you seated, and they give you a big lecture about what to do and what not to do before you even go out to walk with the lions. There's a half hour of instructions, and then we go, and there's two guys that go along. They had their rifles and so on, and we were first thinking that they had the rifles to protect us from the lions.
That's what
but
I
it
was
was
thinking.
not. They had the rifles to protect the lions from poachers.
Oh.
And so that's why they carry the things. So, it was so many things that you learn taking these trips, because they have to protect the lions and so on, because they do have poachers. And we rode on elephants. And that was a good experience to ride on the backs of elephants. And I think I do have a picture with one of the elephants that I had ridden on.
And Anna, may I ask you about Australia?
Australia was also a wonderful place to visit. Some of it was a little bit like America, but not really. The people were nice. The food was a little different, but nice. And then we got time. They have everyone go and stay with a family for a few hours or a day, just to see the way of living and what they do. And we were allowed to stay with the family, not spend the night, but just spend some hours with them and have dinner with them and chat and get to know a bit about the things that they do and the way that they live. And that was a nice experience. And in China, we visited schools. We met with children. I think I have pictures of those too. And we saw the different ways that they live. Many of the places that we went to, people had never seen black people. And so they were a little bit surprised. I went someplace where they wanted to feel my hair and that sort of thing. But it was a good experience for them. It was a good experience for us.
Wait a minute, Anna. There's one thing that I have to interject. A lot of times, your husband was mistaken for Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, that
He
was.
and Alan would get mad about that. Oh, he would be mad.
And plus, he was lighter. He was light skinned. So.
I remember, I don't know how I came across that information, but I know he was upset about that. And it was not one place.
Yeah.
Other places, they thought maybe a black man with money had to be an actor, to be able to be there. Oh, you know what you have to tell me about New Zealand?
New Zealand,
Yeah, because
which
I
I
studied
also
the
love.
Moratory people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, tell us about them. And I remember the article in the New York Times where the Moratory, there was this man, he said he sold some of his land to talk about the hard time as being the original people of that land that they were having. Tell us about it a little bit.
I can't remember much exactly.
Anything.
The people were nice. We did go on a tour where we met the ancestors of the original people. They gave us a tour and they gave us a bit of their history, did some of the dances that they did at the time, and
You know how lucky are to have gone to all those continents, and you and your husband to have the goal to do all of that.
right.
Well, I know an easy continent. How about South America?
I've been to Argentina, Brazil, which I love Brazil, except that it was kind of congested in some areas, I think mostly where the black Brazilians are. Very congested, but then if you go in the beach areas, it's beautiful. Some of the pavements are just decorated so nice, just the sand, how they have it set up with pictures. I think I have some of those paintings too. The beaches are beautiful. The people are absolutely gorgeous.
I went to Brazil and I love Brazil too. And I wanted to go to Ipanema and I went to the little Ipanema cafe. I didn't realize what was, what it was really about. But people gave me little coins and little jewels,
Uh,
and I said, I was tall and tan, not that young, but still lovely. I was the new girl from Ipanema. Yeah.
wasn't there a song about Ipanema?
You want me to sing?
No, thank you. But it is beautiful, beautiful beaches and so on. And
So now we talked about Africa, we talked about South America, we talked Asia. We didn't talk about Asia. But you did
didn't I
tell
just
me a
say
little
something
about
about
China.
China?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Tell me, how did you find China and the Chinese people, and how did, what
I said they were very nice. I think, like I said, some were a little shocked to see a black person, I guess. And I think that was the place where they wanted to touch my hair. And we did visit some of the schools. We also visited schools in Africa. And just to see how the children adjusted to learning and the academic setup of the schools. And so in China, and then there were parts of China where people live like in real poverty without electricity and so on. And then there's other parts that are very modern and, built up with lots of lights and going on. Some places just have some beautiful sights to see. Just so many wonderful things that I've seen in the world that I can't really say that any place is better than the other. Of course, I love Africa because it's the motherland. But I also loved New Zealand and so on.
in Australia? I tell me, and also I read a letter also about a man from Australia, and the Aboriginals, the original people of Australia, were being displaced.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you anything you care to add about that?
No, only when you go on a tour, if you go to some of those local places, they'll talk about it, but you don't hear a lot of it. You know, where's another place that bothered me with that, where everybody goes on vacation from here, Dominican Republic. They do not talk about the African history. They don't seem to want to talk about it. And there was some disagreement with some of my Dominican friends and I about that because I went on a tour in the Dominican Republic and they skipped around that part. They don't talk about the relationship that they have with Haiti and so on. And you find that there, and then there's some other places where you get a little
May I
bit of
interject
that.
one
Sure.
thing? My daughter and her husband went to the Dominican Republic for their honeymoon way back then, and they said the same thing that you said, that they were very upset about the lack of the blackness, and they in fact they came back and started saving money to go to another honeymoon.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
were very upset about exactly what you said. And I never talked to you about that before. Wow.
But that's what I found there. But I mean, there were other nice things about it. But that kind of gave me a little bad feeling.
Well, you
Most
know,
other places, I didn't get that feeling.
well, you make me excited about going to different continents. Japan.
I did not go to Japan. That I did not do. For some reason, I didn't have the desire to go there. Not that I have anything against Japan, but for some reason, that was not a place that I
No,
felt like
I feel that way. I feel that way about Mexico.
Well,
Yeah.
Mexico, I've been to a lot of places in Mexico, but that was before all the stuff that you're hearing about now that's going on. But
Well, tell me about Mexico, because I do not intend to go, but just tell me about it.
well, when we went, it was a long time ago, and we went to Acapulco and you name it, we were there. I think we even bought timeshare somewhere in Mexico.
Wait a minute. I gotta say, y'all bought timeshares everywhere.
We did. We kind of.
They were, Anna and Alan had timeshares in so many different places.
Couldn't get rid of them.
And sometimes, let me tell you, I've been on the timeshare route too, because sometimes it's good for that free meal, you know.
Well, that was the thing that gets you going in Las Vegas, especially. But we did use that timeshare a lot. We used to go to Las Vegas every year. But of course, when my husband passed, a lot of those timeshare went because some places accepted the death and let it go. The only places where I'm having trouble is Atlantic City.
Wow.
But
Anna, you mentioned a husband. Tell us about you getting married and that part, because we got up to you becoming a teacher, and then there's a little gap. Tell us about meeting Alan.
oh well,
Now tell us the fairy tale version of it.
it was. I don't know if you want to call it a fairy tale, but at that time I was living with a cousin of mine, my cousin Eleanor, but we call her Pete. And Alan's older brother and my cousin Pete were friends because he used to sell encyclopedias and so on, and my cousin wanted to buy encyclopedias, and so they got friendly, and my brother-in-law was very knowledgeable about everything. And so they became good friends, and while I was staying with my cousin Pete, She said her friend had a brother and he was going to come over. And did I want to meet him? I said, sure. So he came over and I met him. And of course, we had a couple of drinks and so on, so we were getting along fine. So my girlfriend at that time, a friend of mine named Linda, who passed away, we were going to the beach the next day. So in my having a few drinks and being friendly, I invited Alan to go to the beach. And he said he would be glad to go. So he came and took us to the beach and so on. And then after that, he would call and we would talk and so on. And then we started going out.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow.
After 6 months, we got engaged, and 6 months later, we got married.
Wow. Fantastic. And you know, I will never forget you and Alan's Christmas parties.
Oh, yeah.
Every year, the house was full of people at the Christmas parties.
Yes, we had big parties every year. It used to be, and when we first moved here, and we had the parties, the doorman would call up, and the neighbors were complaining. My husband said, "Look, we have a party once a year, and we're gonna have it."
And,
So they stopped bothering us.
and then let me tell you, we always tipped your doorman.
Yeah.
You know, so I know they were looking forward to the Christmas parties too, because everybody that came through those doors put some green in the doorman's hands. Wow.
So
So
we
tell
had
us
wonderful
about
times.
so the marriage, the education, the marriage, wonderful, wonderful. Everything was wonderful.
And then we had our two daughters. And
we left that out.
they got their degrees, and then they both got married. One had 3 children. My oldest daughter had Nicole. She had 3 children, and they're all college graduates. Well, the son is graduating this June.
Congratulations.
My other daughter, Alana, she had 2 children.
We call her Lonzie.
Lonzie. She had 2 children. The oldest girl, Brianna, she started college, but medical reasons she had to stop for a while. And my grandson, Jaden, he's the youngest. He's in his junior year of high school.
And I have a special bond with Jaden because he likes soul music.
Yes, he does. And then now my oldest granddaughter, Dominique, has a little girl, Elise Marie.
So that makes you
a great grandmother.
wow.
So unfortunately, Alan didn't live long enough to see his great grand, but
But you gave him a wonderful, wonderful life. You know, we've been having, I've been here at the parties and know how much you loved. But they your daughters gave you a big birthday party at La Fontana.
right.
And tell me how you felt about seeing all the people that you did not know. It was a surprise party.
Certainly was.
Okay? All the people who have loved you all these years.
That was truly a big surprise because when I came up the steps of at La Fontana, and I just expected that we were going to dinner for my birthday, and I had first told my daughters, boy, it's my birthday, and nobody has done anything, you know.
This is before she came and saw the surprise party.
Right.
Because first she thought nobody was doing anything for her. So go ahead.
They would take me to dinner. And a couple of people almost messed up, but then it was like, okay, well, they just made a mistake, or maybe they're just coming to have dinner with us. But when I came up the stairs and it was surprise and all these people, I couldn't believe it. It was such a shock and a wonderful shock.
That was all those years of love that you gave all of us. And I know her godchild, which is my daughter, spent a whole lot of time in this house, okay? Because Anna and Alan love having children come to their house. They reared so many people's children.
That was my apple juice girl.
That's Nisha. Yeah. Anna, is there anything, because we're winding down. I can't believe it's winding down. Do you think we need a part 3?
I think this is it.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything that you, words that you would like to put out to the universe?
No, it's just that I'm so happy that I'm here and I've been able to be here for all the years, and I've met such wonderful people like my dear friend Patricia.
Thank you, Anna.
And just wonderful people, educators, and just friends. I have one friend, Barbara Evans, that we have been friends since I came up here to
You have a picture of you and she in a bathing suit.
right.
Wait, but when they were teenagers.
And you know, we live near each other and we're still friends. And that was one good thing. And life has been good.
This is Patricia Hazell for Patricia's Potpourri. I'm here to thank Anna Boutel for sharing her experiences, her adventures with us. Much appreciated, Anna. Anna B.
Okay. I was like, little did she know. We got Oh, look at it. Uncle Ronnie was going to be here, but Shaholi got COVID. They were coming all the way from California. Sharon and Chris. That's why your sister came. Yes. That's why Sharon came. I can't believe it. Here she comes. Oh, look at Punky. Oh, you're in. Yes, we're all in it. That's why when Godmother said, "I'll see you," I can't come. She was blowing it. She was gonna mess it up. Surprise, Mom. I'm gonna beat you in your head. Look who's here. Yvette, look at who's here. Yes. And we're being filmed. Cat Boyd, her producer.